It's Saturday, March 8th, 2025. I want to share some articles today, and I was watching some videos. I want to discuss this. There's so much going on in the world right now. This morning, I was watching some of the videos of what's happening over in Ukraine. There's just these crazy videos of these soldiers kidnapping people in Ukraine to force them, into this war. There's an article here today. Videos flood the web of Ukrainian men kidnapped off the streets as Zelensky's war machine ramps up mobilization. Now, if you remember, if you watched the Trump meeting with Zelensky, when J.D. Vance intervened and brought up to Zelensky the forceful mobilization. This is another word for kidnapping. And so I was watching these videos today, and you can Google this, go on Google, YouTube, it's all over the place. Multiple videos of what's happening over in Ukraine because Ukraine's in very, very big trouble. One video showed a gentleman walking his dog, and a van pulls up, and they grab this guy with his dog, multiple soldiers, and they drag this guy to the van. The guy's holding onto the leash with his dog. The dog is barking, it's panicking, this guy is screaming, and they throw him in the van and leave his dog out in the street as they drive off. Very nice, isn't it? Another video I watched today, and multiple videos of just people riding bicycles, just getting knocked off their bicycles and thrown into vans. Multiple people pulled out of their cars, thrown to the ground, and thrown into a van. And my question is, where are the world's human right defenders? Where are the world's human right defenders? Where we're now watching people kidnapped in their own country to go fight into a war that is going to guarantee their death. Another video, a gentleman went to a DMV with his wife, walks in the DMV, he's going to go register his car. Soldiers tackle him there, and they just drag him right out to a van while his wife is screaming and just going, into a chaotic fit because these guys are taking her husband, and this is a death sentence. This is a guaranteed death sentence. And you're watching a lot of these videos where these men seem either very, very young or old. They're taking whatever they can get at this point. And it's very, very disturbing, and nobody's talking about it. What do you think about this? Is this okay with you? Should we continue to finance this? Ukraine is losing very, very badly, and they are going to continue to sacrifice human beings to escalate this war and to continue this war. Here's one today from the Hal Turner radio show. Utter annihilation. With surrender deadline passed, promised bombing has begun in Kursk, Russia. One thing to know about Russia, you can go back to Napoleon, to Hitler. History shows if you invade Russia, bad things happen. And I really hope that Liz Warren, I hope she's clapping today like she did during the congressional address when she was clapping and wanting to continue to fund this war and to continue to promote this war while people are losing their lives every day. Elizabeth Warren, are you clapping today? Are the war hawks happy? This is so horrible, ladies and gentlemen. Russian forces have completely encircled Ukrainian forces inside Kursk, Russia. Remember, Ukraine invaded that part of Russia. They're going to pay the ultimate price now. Those Ukrainians were given until dawn this morning to surrender, or else fuel-air bombing would begin. The deadline has now passed and the bombing has begun. Ukrainian forces are being annihilated. Each minute, more and more thermal barrack bombs are being dropped on remaining troops. They're being absolutely not just annihilated, disintegrated. Is Elizabeth Warren clapping today? Are those people in Washington clapping today? Because it doesn't matter what side you're on, in my opinion. Human life is human life. I don't want to see Ukrainians die. I don't want to see Russians die. And I certainly don't want to see people kidnapped while they're walking their dogs or riding a bicycle to be forced into this thing to wait their turn to lose their life, to be disintegrated. That's exactly what's happening. I was watching the television today. Martin Armstrong says that 1.3 million Ukrainians have lost their lives. 1.3 million, and more are losing their lives as I make this video today. And we want to continue to finance this. Are you out of your minds? Anybody that wants to continue sending money and financing this and supporting this is, in my opinion, absolutely demonic. This has got to come to an end. Russia is not going to stop now. They are absolutely PO'd. They didn't want NATO pointing missiles at their border. They warned and warned and warned. And look at history. Look at Napoleon. Look at Hitler. You invade Russia, you pay a severe price. And I'll tell you, this could be much, much worse right now. I think Russia has been extremely, extremely patient, but they're only going to take so much. And that doesn't mean I'm pro-Russia, everybody. I'm watching this from the outside, and there's no way Ukraine's going to win this. There's no way we're a bankrupt nation that we're going to continue to finance this. This has got to come to an end. There's a lot of theories out there how this is all going to play out, but right now, the way it's playing out is very, very bad for Ukraine. It's bad for America because it is going to continue to bankrupt us even more. I pray that the bloodshed stops very, very soon. But it seems that it's Russia and this administration that wants peace, but Zelensky doesn't for whatever reason. And there's probably a bunch of reasons. We could theorize all day of what those reasons are, but it seems like he's the one that doesn't want it. Maybe Europe's the one that doesn't want it to stop. It's shocking. It really, really is. Pray for these countries, ladies and gentlemen. Pray for these countries and these people that are losing their lives. Anger at Elon Musk turns violent with Molotov cocktails thrown at Tesla lots. Multiple videos of this going on. Several superchargers have been set ablaze. Several cars have been set ablaze on Tesla lots. Salem, Oregon dealership windows shot out. This continues to get out of control, and we're really watching severe lawlessness take place right here in America. And so if people don't like you, if they don't agree with you politically, they're just going to go to your place of work and blow out your windows, light some cars on fire, protest. This stuff is really getting out of control, and we're continuing to watch this lawlessness and this societal breakdown. And I'll tell you, if it continues to be allowed to take place, it's going to rupture into something much, much bigger. And I'd hate to see that happen. I was watching a video, and I think it might have been the dealership up there in Oregon. And there were some YouTubers that went up there wearing some Doge shirts, walking through the crowd, trying to, get some views basically and ruffle some feathers. And so somebody in the crowd had flipped this dude's hat off his head and, said some personal remarks, degrading remarks to him. And the YouTuber who was driving a Tesla couldn't even leave his Tesla out in front. He had to park it on the dealership lot in the back because he's worried that somebody would vandalize it while he was filming the video. And so while he's filming the video, interviewing some people, somebody knocks his hat off, escalated into a fight. He turned around, slapped this guy across the face. The guy that knocked his hat off continues to move forward, not knowing that this guy, this YouTuber, was a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. This guy judo flipped him, took him to the ground, triangle choked him. It was crazy. It was good entertainment though. But, people that just think that they can just walk up to you because they don't agree with you politically, don't like your Doge t-shirt, don't like the hat you're wearing, maybe don't like what you're saying, they can just walk up to you and knock your hat off, right off your head. That's assault actually, and not think that there's going to be repercussions. Unfortunately, this gentleman who thought he could just walk up and go hands-on with somebody learned a very valuable lesson that day at the Tesla protests. So very, very interesting. But what do you think about this where They're lighting superchargers on fire, cars on fire, shooting out dealer windows. What do you think about this? I think it's absolutely insanity. We have so many bigger problems, and I see what's happening in this war, and we're worried about Elon Musk and what he's doing, and we're continuing to watch this lawlessness take place. Let me know your thoughts on this. I just think it's really, really fascinating. And a lot of these people look very decrepit. They look unhealthy. They look just like really degenerates. And it's really sad. I just didn't think there was this much hate in America. I really didn't. And we're seeing so many people who are so hateful that, just think that they can destroy property, assault people. This has got to come to an end. Most Americans can't afford life anymore, and they just don't matter to the economy like they once did. Low and middle class Americans say something needs to change. And I've got to ask this question for the millionth time again. How in the world are people surviving? When I go out and I see the cost of a hamburger, the cost of a coffee, the cost to just go buy some shoes, to buy some jeans, it's unbelievable. I don't know how people are doing it on top of all their utility bills, their health insurance, their car insurance, their home insurance. I don't get how people are doing it. When you look at the average income of a household in America, and then you look at the overhead, how much longer is this sustainable? How are people doing this other than, payday loans, personal loans, credit cards, buy now, pay laters? And this is all going to, end very, very bad for people because they're just digging deeper and deeper into debt. This is all, going to come to an end at some point. You cannot borrow money forever because the minute you stop paying it back, you've hit the wall. And people are now losing jobs at a pace that we have not seen in a very, very long time. And they have a lot of debt. And when they cannot pay that debt back, guess what? They shut the credit cards off. You get evicted out of the apartment. They foreclose on your house. They repo the car. When the car's gone, life is pretty much over for most people because how do you go to the grocery store? How do you take the kids to school? How do you get to a job? How do you find a new job if you don't have a car? And then on top of that, it's destroying people's credit. The very, very bad place we're in right now. CNBC, a new car costs nearly $50,000 on average. Here's how much you pay per month. Payment for a new car is going to run you, depending on your FICO score, $824 to $1,037 per month. Who in the world can do this at the moment? I mean, just to go to the grocery store, a family of four to go to the grocery store, probably going to be at least $300 a week. If it's not, you're not eating very well. If your household makes $80,000 a year, a $1,000 car payment would take 15% of pre-tax income. That's before insurance, gas, and maintenance. And then don't forget, registration costs. Out here in California, you register a car, a $50,000 car, it's going to be, probably $500, $600. I'm estimating. How are people surviving? How are people doing this? And I just think that a lot of people really underestimate just how bad things really are out there because they might go to a restaurant and people are there, people are driving around, the lights are on, in your cities, and maybe your mall has some people walking around. But what is supporting all of this? It's debt. As long as people have access to credit, buy now, pay laters, credit cards, pulling equity out of their homes as they did a couple years ago at a drastic level, a lot of people are living off of that right now. A lot of people don't even really want to even make changes in their life. They want to continue the same life that they had 2 years ago. And they don't want to accept the truth that they can't do it. And people will go deeper into debt to try and stay in the middle class. You know, somebody wrote me the other day again saying, "Oh, you know, people are broke, but you're telling them to buy gold and silver." I was telling people to buy gold and silver when they weren't broke. I was telling them to do it 7 years ago, 8 years ago, when they weren't broke. And what did most people do? Unfortunately, this is reality, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry if I'm touching a nerve, but what did they do? They went to baseball games. They went to football games, they went to the movies, they went to the bars, they took the vacations, they went to Vegas, they took their cruises, they took the family to Disneyland. They had $9 coffees. A lot of people lived beyond their means. Spend, run up the credit cards more and more and more, and had absolutely no assets. That's what people did over the last 8 years from my observations. And I can't help those people. I personally made sacrifices. I lived below my means, still do. I still live way below my means in order, you know, to buy, you know, stuff like this. SD Bullion, link down below. If you need gold or silver, SD Bullion, link down below. I'm going to try to do an unboxing maybe this week. This stuff is so important to have right now. But if you need some gold or silver, link down below, SD Bullion. If you need a good place to protect that stuff, Dirty Man Safe. If you need to bury that stuff under the ground, check out Dirty Man Safe, link down below. A lot of you have purchased the underground safes to protect your gold, your silver, your valuables. Phenomenal thing to have. A lot of people say, well, I could just make it myself. Well, then go make it yourself. But people, you know, in all honesty, if you have $5, $10, $15, $20, $100,000 plus of metals to hide, you probably don't really care about spending $150 or $170 to buy a safe that's already put together for you. So, you know, if you have the time and equipment to build these things yourself, go for it. But most people who have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of dollars of gold and silver really don't want to waste the time to build this stuff themselves. So you can go to Dirty Man Safe and buy it yourself, link down below. But at the end of the day, you can hide this stuff, you can put it wherever you want. The main thing is make sure you have some gold and silver, because I think we are heading into some very, very rough times. These wars don't seem to be going away anytime soon. Inflation not going away anytime soon. Uncertainty not going away anytime soon. And I think we're going to see very, very big trouble in these markets, the stock market, the housing market, bond market, all of it. It is going to continue to rattle the entire economy. The trouble we've seen in the economy over the past 4 years is only getting worse. The damage that has been done over the last 4 years is so bad that it cannot be fixed in a year. I don't think it can be fixed in 2 years. I don't even know if it can be fixed. So my advice to all of you is be preparing every which way you can. I think now the optimism that we saw in January is now kind of evaporating. There was a lot of optimism, enthusiasm after the administration came in, and now I think the administration is beginning to realize that things are much worse than even they thought. And this next article right here, U.S. Treasury Secretary says to brace for economic pain. One economist thinks he's underselling the fallout. I agree. Scott Bessent says the country will go through an adjustment period after getting hooked on government spending. Look, it's even more than that. The government spending, the government subsidies, the credit cards, the cheap money, the access to cheap money, all this stuff made people very, very comfortable, enough to where they can live well above their means. And now the spigot has kind of been shut off, and we're going to feel some pain. And we've had people very, very reliant on the government too to take care of them, housing, food, all that stuff. And this is all changing now. And there's a lot of people out there getting very, very nervous. So all you can really do at this point is take care of you. Don't rely on the system. Don't rely on the government to feed you, to house you. You're going to be on your own. They're making huge cuts here. We are going to see very, very extreme things happening here in America. It's already begun. And you know, if you have 2 arms, 2 legs, you better be out there hustling. Side hustles, jobs, whatever you got to do, because they're shutting the spigot off. And it's going to be much more difficult to have access to all this government money, these subsidies that people got so comfortable with. And it's also going to be more difficult even for people who had jobs because of losing jobs. So life is changing very, very quickly. And my advice again is add skills, add side hustles, do multiple things. Because if you lose one job, maybe you have something else to fall back on, or two other things to fall back on. But this is going to get very, very rough. It really, in my opinion, is going to get very, very rough. And I think that too many people thought that this administration was going to come in, wave a magic wand, perform miracles, walk on water, and everything was going to be fixed. It's not going to be that easy. I pray for this administration. I think that they're doing a very, very good job right now, but there's so much damage that has been done that it is going to take years just to turn around. It could take decades to fix. But I mean, at least somebody's making an effort. The last 4 years, we had a dementia patient, literally, that did not even know where he was, did not know his name. That is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. This is not political. You're making it political if you're saying it's political. I want whoever the president is to be successful. I want whoever the president is, Democrat, Republican, Independent, looking out for America's best interests, protecting America's, protecting our borders, not getting us into wars, not funding trillions of dollars for a bunch of BS, sending multi-billions of dollars to countries to make Sesame Street shows, to do research with shrimp on treadmills, to torture animals. That I completely disagree with that wholeheartedly. I support any president, Republican or Democrat, who is looking out for the best interests and safety of this country and doing something about the debt. We cannot continue to spiral, out of control with this debt, going deeper into a bankruptcy. Somebody now is going to have to start cutting the spending, and there's got to be accountability. Somebody's got to start balancing the checkbook here, and I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat. If you do, then you're making it political, because you should just care about the best interests of the United States of America. That we're avoiding wars, that we're avoiding bankruptcy, that we're trying to avoid a Great Depression. And look, somebody's going to have to be the bad guy here. Somebody's going to have to pull the plug on this and pick up the can, because we continue to kick this can down the road. And somebody's going to have to pick up the can and stop the kicking. And that's going to be somebody who a lot of people aren't going to like, because guess what? The cheap money stops. The spending stops. A lot of these fake federal jobs come to a standstill. It all stops. A lot of the wastefulness stops that people have been living off of, making money off of, supporting themselves off of. So those are the people who are really going to kick in and scream here. But as a country, we cannot continue propping up our economy with cheap money, 0% interest rates. We cannot continue just creating jobs out of thin air so that people have a job while the taxpayers pay for this, while these people are not essential, while they're not creating anything, they're not manufacturing anything. And we must start manufacturing in this country. So anyways, I don't want to go on a rant here. Really, what's happening over in Ukraine is absolutely demonic, in my opinion, and we're supporting it as a country. And I really hope and pray that it comes to an end. And one way that it does come to an end is if this country says no more money, no more equipment, no more support, you're on your own, or we cut a deal. But this deal with the rare earth minerals. Apparently, what a lot of people are saying is they already cut a deal. Ukraine already cut a deal with the UK. They're already getting the rare earth minerals. And that Zelensky tried to pull a fast one on Trump, I don't really know. But then you hear that most of those minerals are in Russia. Martin Armstrong says that Russia has $75 trillion of rare earth minerals and resources. A very, very wealthy country. So I don't know. I really, really don't. But it continues. It's going to continue for a while longer till it doesn't. Hopefully this thing does not go nuclear. Hopefully we do not get sucked into this thing with the UK now, and that we're in a World War III scenario. That would be absolutely horrible, when all this could have been avoided from the get-go. Nobody had to lose their lives. And now 1.3 million Ukrainians have lost their lives. Comment down below. Be careful out there. Be praying for Ukraine. Pray for Russia. Pray for America. Pray for the entire world. Because I've never seen the entire world this chaotic as I do now. Are we in the end times? Don't know. I don't know. Some people think the world's coming to an end. I don't think we're quite there yet. But we're definitely seeing some prophetic things happening, no doubt. But again, we'll see how it all plays out. Be careful out there. God bless all of you. Look forward to speaking with all of you very, very soon. Take care.